has changed, of course, in the last 24 hours. So we'll start with the latest news on the Ravens and Steelers. For that, we bring in our Tom Pelissero. Tom, the Ravens-Steelers game now scheduled for Tuesday. Ultimately, what led to this game being moved once again?
Well, MJ, with the Ravens continuing to have positive COVID-19 tests pop up, the NFL and its medical experts wanted to buy a little bit more time to make sure the virus had run its course before the Ravens get onto a plane. There was additional contact tracing performed this morning after 4 more Ravens players, including Lamar Jackson, tested positive on Thursday. After that, a small group of league officials got together early this afternoon, and at that point, the decision was made to push back this game an additional 2 days. Now, a potential good sign within the past few minutes here, I have been told only one Ravens player, practice squad guard Will Holden, tested positive in today's round of COVID-19 testing. That could be an indicator that the virus is abating. There's also some additional schedule shuffling based upon this Steelers-Ravens game being pushed back until Tuesday night. The Ravens also were supposed to play the Cowboys on Thursday. That game has now been sent all the way back to next Monday, December 7th. And that timeline, MJ, means Lamar Jackson has a chance to be back in uniform when they face Dallas.
All right, Tom, so we've talked rescheduling, if you will, but let's talk injuries as well. Who's in and who's out for this week?
Let's start with Falcons running back Todd Gurley. He is out because of a knee injury against the Raiders. Certainly a significant loss for Atlanta. Expect a lot of Brian Hill there. Panthers quarterback Teddy Bridgewater, he is in. Will start for the Panthers against his old team, the Vikings, after sitting out last week with a knee. Bears quarterback Mitch Trubisky, he also returns to the lineup, cleared after his shoulder injury. Nick Foles still battling a hip and a glute. It will be Trubisky Sunday night against the Packers. And Jets quarterback Sam Darnold, also back from his shoulder injury. He gets the start against the Dolphins, MJ.
All right, Tom, as always, a lot to keep track of. We'll keep monitoring that injury report ahead of Sunday, and we're also going to be gearing up for the Chiefs and the Bucks. My friends, that is our Total Access Game of the Week.
It's the Chiefs again against the Raiders. Why not? Mahomes to Kelsey.
After Brady goes toward the end zone. Oh, ball, Mike Evans.
Cut back left, run it, goes to Edwards-Helaire. CEH with TD1.
Go out to the end zone. Gronkowski with a touchdown. And that New England combination now in Buccaneer pewter and red.
Near side, Tyreek Hill catches the ball at the 5. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is carrying him off the field.
A quick reminder for all you at home at how Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady compare this 2020 season. Mahomes and the Chiefs 9-1, of course. Brady and the Bucks at 7-4. Mahomes has the higher completion percentage and passer rating and has thrown more pass yards per game as well. Here's Tom Brady on his deep ball struggles this season.
Not executing at the highest level, so I don't think it's more than that. I think we didn't execute on some short throws. We didn't execute on some medium throws. Just comes down to not as good execution as I think we're capable. So we're working harder to improve it, and we'll go out there and try to do a much better job this week. Our job is to get the job done, so there's no excuses for when we don't get it done. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the reality of the sport. It's a production-based business, and when you have opportunities like we had in those 2 games, it's very disappointing when you don't, especially when you're the quarterback and the ball's in your hands. So it's something I got to do a better job of.
Okay, David Carr and Rob with me now. Guys, acknowledgement. They need execution now to follow that up. David, I'm going to start with you. What are 3 things that the Bucs need to do to upset the Chiefs?
Well, right off the bat, MJ, we'll just jump right into this. You have to be disciplined on defense because Kansas City presents so many issues from a vertical passing standpoint, but also horizontally. They'll move Tyreek Hill horizontally. They'll get the backs out in the flats. Patrick Mahomes can step up and run, and then you get guys out of positions like you saw there, and you can end up having some big plays. You got to be disciplined. Devin White, young guy, secondary, some young guys back there. Make sure you're communicating the entire game because it only takes one of these to lose it for you. Number 2, you got to run the football and keep that guy off the field. Pat Mahomes, if he has limited possessions, then he can't score as many points. So you have Ronald Jones, you get him going. Interior offensive line has to get going. They have to get some push. There's some good players in there for Kansas City, but if they can control the clock, Get it out there quick in the perimeter, but mostly running the football, keeping them on the sideline. And then my last point, and it's a huge one, and Brady just talked about it. You can't be 0 for your last 19 throwing the football down the field. You can't lead the league in bad off-target throws, but with 83 of them that haven't even been catchable, so they really have to step on the gas as far as throws down the field. Look at the last team that has beaten the Chiefs in the last year. It was the Raiders. The Raiders, what did they do? They hit big plays down the field in that first game, and that's what the Bucs are going to have to do if they think they're going to hang with these guys. Yes, run the football. Yes, control the clock, but you got to hit a couple big plays to hang with the Chiefs.
David, I love what you're saying right there. Running the football to kind of control the tempo, to kind of keep Patrick Mahomes off the football field and control this guy by the name of Chris Jones, who's sitting in the middle of that Kansas City defense. Not only is he a run stuffer, not only can he make plays splitting the double team in the running game, but in the passing game, he literally rushes the guards like a defensive end. And this is what makes this kid so special. He's super explosive off the line of scrimmage. Look how he splits this team, this double team right here. Usually, the first guy in a in tackle stunt is trying to free up the inside looper. This time, Chris Jones gets through and he forces chaos in the backfield. And here's again a couple of weeks ago, going up against a guard. This time, he's going to get the offensive center to slide to his side. Oftentimes, guys like Chris Jones and Aaron Donald, they get the center to slide to him. And not only does Chris Jones beat the center, but he gets the sack and takes the quarterback down to the ground. Every time that you see Tom Brady not hitting on these long passes, oftentimes it's because he's getting pressure up the middle. He's been hit 57 times this year through 11 games. That cannot happen if Tampa Bay wants to be successful pushing the ball down the football field.
And Rob, that's why it's so important that you highlight these things and you go into these play breakdowns, because it sounds simple enough, David, to keep them off the field, to keep Patrick Mahomes off. Very much a difficult thing to do. Okay, guys, let's pick this game, though. Rob, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I think it's too much Kansas City. I got Kansas City Chiefs winning 30-21. I think it's too much Chris Jones. I'm not sure if Tampa Bay understands their identity. I think their offensive line is built to run the football, but they got all these shiny toys on the outside, so they try to push the ball down the football field. I just don't see them having success against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I see him, Rob, and I'll actually go one step further. I think this is an absolute boat race. I think it's 42-21. Kansas City Chiefs just way too much. Young defensive secondary, young linebacking core. They make too many mistakes. And then I'm just going based on the film, brother. Those guys are legit, and they are back, and they're not going anywhere.
I agree completely with you guys.
Tom,
this is one of those games. Not tough to pick. I also have the Chiefs 37-27 in the end. You guys have said it all. I just can't see anyone taking them down at this point. Certainly not the Bucs the way they've been playing the last few games. All right, guys, thank you. I want to take you to a look at the AFC playoff picture. We have a divisional matchup in the AFC South, of course, the Titans and the Colts. Whichever team wins that game, they get sole possession of the top spot in that division. So, gentlemen, how do we see this playing out? Rob, I'm going to start with you here because I want to know how the Colts' run defense is going to stack up against Derrick Henry, who, by the way, put up over 100 yards against them back in Week 10.
Yeah, he did put up 100 yards a couple of weeks ago on 19 carries. And if you really look at the film, and if I'm the Tennessee Titans offensive staff, I'll run him a lot more because there were some holes there. And what the Indianapolis Colts defense they did a lot of line stunts, and Darius Leonard was all over the football field. He led the team with 9 tackles, but he has to get more of this. It has to be more of Darius Leonard tackling this big Derrick Henry before he gets going downhill, because once Derrick Henry puts his foot in the ground and gets going downhill, it's almost curtains for the second level of a defense because he gets a head of steam, and you don't really want to stand in front of this guy when he has a head of steam. You know what? You know another thing that can stop Derrick Henry, though, guys? Phillip Rivers. And I know y'all are wondering, Phillip Rivers don't play no defense. How you going to stand in front of Derrick Henry? No, because you score points offensively with the Indianapolis Colts, push the envelope even more, and force Ryan Tannehill to throw the football. That's another way that you stop Derrick Henry from having a great effect on this game.
Yeah, that's a great point. You take them out of one-dimensional football where they can just pound it and make them throw the ball a little bit. And I think the other point that you brought up was great because when you watch that film, like you said, they should run the football more. They should give it to Derrick Henry more. And what does that do if you're the Colts? You're going to be forced because you couldn't hang with those guys. Quite honestly, I mean, if they want to come in here and run the ball 25 or 30 times, it's going to be a long day. So you got to move up, crowd the box. It's going to be one-on-ones on the outside. And who does that lean to? Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown. And A.J. Brown has been playing fantastic football.